Hi guys, and welcome to episode 4 of the S Word podcast. I'm Hattie.
I'm Megan.
I'm Beth.
I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Charlotte. Right, so today's episode we thought we would talk a little bit more seriously about mental health and just maybe our personal experiences, how we've gone about maybe improving our mental health at uni and like different ways we've figured it all out. You know, obviously we haven't figured it all out because we're all stressed.
And we've got a load of like questions and stuff that people have sent in.
Yeah.
So.
We'll try to answer them.
Does anyone want to do a little disclaimer?
Yeah, we're like kind of like we said last week when we were like or maybe the week before, we said like we're experiencing the same thing. Like we're just students as well that are also struggling, so we're just going to give you some advice and share our experiences with you.
We aren't qualified therapists for a start, so please, if you actually need to go and see someone, go and see someone, but don't take our advice, you know, straight away.
And also,
fair enough if there's any tips to help,
but
please actually seek someone out.
I feel like, should we start by talking about student like support services, because didn't someone ask about them? I personally never used them, but I feel like maybe some of you maybe have.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, does anyone want to go first? Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah? Right, go for it.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I went in first. Oh, I don't know if it was first year or second year.
I think it might have been first.
I think it was first year, yeah. And they were helpful. I feel like it's just because they're underfunded. They need a lot more help.
Putting on a hand cream because my hands are crispy.
Oh God.
You can't see it. Sorry.
It's gonna be time to think. I wasn't really ready for this question.
I mean, we can talk more generally and just be like, because Lincoln have a student wellbeing centre, don't they?
Yeah, and most unis do have some sort of like support system at least, even if it isn't something that's open like 24 hours or like
even if
the
it's
best
just the SU.
system. Yeah, it is. I think at our uni it's open for like a couple of hours for drop-ins and stuff because obviously they can't afford or like they just can't be around like 24/7 for everyone, which is unfortunate, but
can
it's
you
just
make an
life.
appointment or do you just turn on?
I used the, what is it, student support?
I think
What's
it's
it called?
student wellbeing.
Yeah,
Student
student
wellbeing.
wellbeing.
I used it last year when I was very close to dropping out. Just don't like uni. I think we've all established this in the previous podcast, but I was very close, so I thought I need to go and talk to someone, because how are you supposed to just drop out? Like,
how do you go about it?
How do you go about it? I obviously didn't know. So I went in, just in a drop-in session. I didn't make an appointment or anything.
Did you get seen straight away?
I was only in there for about probably 5-10 minutes waiting for somebody, and then they came out, asked for my name and everything, because you have to give them your student card, and tell them kind of what you're there for when you first go in that little reception bit. And then you get taken into I don't know what to call it other than a pod. It's like a pod. So it's confidential, like you're in a sealed, soundproof thing, just with one other person, pod. Just with one other person, and then they sort of go through your options. Personally, I didn't find that very useful because she was focusing more on finances, practical things, rather than, oh my God, I need some help.
Yeah. You need to know how to deal with it.
Don't get me wrong, she was great. I didn't have any problems with her, but it's just at the time kind of not what I needed, but kind of also I did need to know the information. And then afterwards I also went to the careers service, because obviously my idea was that I wanted to do something completely different. And I found it weird because even though that was a career service, she spoke to me a lot more about me. Like, how was I feeling? She had a box of tissues. We had a little cry together. Like, it's kind of just what I needed at the time.
Yeah.
And also, she sent me an email afterwards with a follow-up, just with everything attached to an email, documents that I might want to read through and stuff. So I found her really useful. So I'd say, like, if you're at uni and you're going through a similar situation, don't be afraid to go and talk to someone, because that is literally what they're there for.
Yeah.
Also, I'd say, I don't know if any of you find this, but I find when I lived here, speaking to my housemates, like, because me and Lizzie are in a similar situation, like, if I was feeling, like, overwhelmed or anything, I'd just go sit in her room and we'd just chat shit for, like, an hour.
Yeah.
But I think it's like taking the first step, isn't it, to, like, go in and having the confidence to go into student support or whatever.
I feel like the doctors actually helped me more than student services, but they did help me. So last year I filled out one of those forms where it's like, it's called a learning support plan, but it was just because when I had exams, I hated going into that massive exam hall, and they just like mentioned that, we got emails or something saying like, if you did want like your exam room changed or whatever, to come and talk to us about it. And I thought, that might be a good idea. And all it meant was like I was put on this list of people who went into like, it was just smaller exam rooms with like less people, and it actually did help. Like it made me so much less nervous. But that's the way they helped me. So it's not just like going in and talking to people. I literally just filled out a form saying like, yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, and I didn't know they did that before.
And like you have your personal tutors and stuff, which it was obviously different at different unis, but like I don't know actually, I don't feel like I could go to my tutor because I've seen her like 3 times since I've been here.
Literally, I never
but
go.
like different unis, you might have a more personal relationship with your tutor, and
It's not
always
like
someone there.
It's not like school, is it? You know, when you have your form tutor
Yeah.
and you have like a relationship with your form
Yeah.
tutor, whereas here you literally like go see your personal tutor. They're like, your attendance is all right, like,
Yeah.
you're doing all right, and then it's like you don't see them for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's like at the beginning of 3rd year, I was a complete mess. Like I was so anxious and stuff, and then I had a meeting with my personal tutor everyone was having them just to like introduce us to 3rd year, and I was like so not good, but she was just like, yeah, your grades look good, your attendance is good, you're fine. And I was like, I'm
really
not,
not,
but
yeah.
okay, cool. Like,
And then they mentioned at the end like, if you've got any problems, just drop me an email. And it's like, well, I don't know
I'm
you.
just gonna email you saying I'm too anxious
Drop
to
me an
leave
email
the house.
What are
saying
you
I'm
gonna
literally
do?
depressed.
You'll just be
Yeah.
like, go and talk to someone. It's like, oh well.
Yeah. I think the first step, if you're ever feeling like not like your usual self, or you don't think that something's right, I think opening up to anyone who you can confide in is probably like the best like building block into getting help. Like whether that's your parents, your friends, or if you feel like you're uncomfortable talking to people around you, like your loved ones, because I know some people who struggle more so to talk to people they know, and like putting pressure on other people, like it's a burden sort of thing. People prefer going to like a doctor or like a therapist, counsellor. So yeah, I think you just need to figure out who you confide in the most, or who you think will give you the best help.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're going to speak to someone that you don't know, to them you're a blank canvas. They don't know anything about you, whereas sometimes I do speak to my mum about things, but sometimes I think I don't really want to tell her because I know exactly what she's going to say already.
Yeah, I feel like she doesn't really understand.
She doesn't I love my mum, bless her.
Yeah.
She tries to understand, but sometimes your parents and friends just don't get it.
Yeah, if they've not been through the same thing, then it's hard for someone same for me. If someone has gone through something, I can't relate to it because I haven't felt the same feelings.
Like you
and
guys
stuff.
definitely get it more than my mum does. Like, I
Yeah.
you guys first.
I think it's 'cause we're all in the same like
Yeah,
situation,
exactly.
like with uni or whatever, and like.
Yeah, so should we go on to some questions maybe, see
Yeah.
if we can give our best advice? This sort of like ties in actually with what we've been talking about. So advice on how to maybe open up to your parents that you're suffering with mental health and go counselling, like if you wanted to bring that up. Yeah.
Start going to therapy. Well, this actually happened to me like in, I think it was March time this year, because my dad passed away like 4 years ago, and my mum's just recently moved on, so that's hit me like so hard. Like this year's literally been like so hard in terms of like my mental health. So my mum kind of already knew that obviously it was going to be really hard for me, and in like March time I thought I don't really want to go and speak to my mum about it because like it's to do with my mum, and I don't want her to make her feel bad, because her moving on is not, I don't want her to feel bad about that, because obviously like I want my mum to be happy and stuff. So it obviously was a bit of a difficult situation because I couldn't go to her when I was upset because she's the reason kind of. So I just said that maybe I wanted to start going to like see a therapist and like just start speaking to someone who doesn't know me, can't judge me, and can just like put me in the right direction to kind of just like start like moving on and like dealing with things, because I was getting so distracted with uni. I was like going home all the time, and it was so hard. So I started going to see a therapist, but for me, I thought the waiting times were like, I waited like 12 weeks to go, and then in that, it's like the waiting time, you're like, oh my God, like what do I do? Like I'm stuck in this situation, I don't know how to deal with it. And then I went to about 5 sessions of it. It was like grief counselling, and like I figured out that grief counselling wasn't what I needed, because I'd go and they'd relate everything back to like my dad, and I was like, that's not really helping deal with like what's going on, because like if I'd say I was like stressing out about uni, she'd be like, what do you think your dad would do? And I'd be like, I don't know, that's not it's not. So I moved to like another therapist, and it was like a CBT one. I don't know if any of you and that's like completely different. They tell you like how to like deal with your emotions, like how it can be like adding up in your head kind of thing. So I think researching what the best therapy is for you maybe speaking to your loved ones about it, because they might be able to point you in the right direction. And then just giving it a go and not being, I know this is so easy to say, but not being afraid of like going into therapy and speaking about it. Because
how did you tell your mum that that's what you wanted to do? Like, how did she react?
Well, because like when my dad passed away, he was put into a hospice, so the hospice kind of said like, if you ever need like counselling or therapy, like contact us. So that was my mum's first reaction, was like, we'll use them because they already know the situation, kind of thing. But like the waiting list was so long. By the time I got there, I was like, after like 2 sessions, I was like, this isn't for me. But I just stuck it out because I thought, well, I'm here now and I've waited. But then my mum, she was like looking at different options that I could like go to, and then my mum was really helpful. Like, I'm very fortunate that my mum was willing to help me like find somewhere to go. But definitely researching what is best for you. I don't know if any
sometimes it's easier if you, obviously it depends how old you are and stuff, but if you kind of sort it out yourself and then say to your mum or your dad, I'm doing this already, rather than like saying to them I want to do this, because if you're already having counselling or therapy or something, they'll be like, oh, they actually need it, because
I
there's
get
a professional person telling them they need it.
That's sort of like what I did. So a couple summers ago, so I've always had like anxiety and like been an anxious person, but obviously uni like
amplifies it.
Amplifies it, yeah, exactly. And obviously because of moving away and stuff just made it worse. And I knew I wanted to go to the doctors and get something sorted, but also I knew that like obviously my mum would care and stuff, but she's always just made comments like, oh, you're just a worrier, like you just need to calm down, why are you worrying about that? And I just feel like it doesn't get that I can't help it, whatever. And then literally I remember I booked a doctor's appointment in summer and my mum took me, and I just said, oh, it's just about stuff. We didn't really talk about it. And then I literally, in the appointment, I got like prescribed anxiety medication and stuff like that, and like a couple others. And I literally got in the car and mum was like, oh, what happened? How did it go? I was like, oh, I've just been put on all this medication. And literally since then, she stopped saying all those comments that she did before, and she sort of gets it more. And now I can say like, I don't want to do that, that's making me anxious. She goes, okay.
That's
and
fine.
like,
Understands more.
Yeah, so it's sort of like, it made me feel better just because I'm like, now you sort of get it, if that makes sense.
I don't know if any of you find this, but for me, like family members or like friends or whatever would feel like I'm alright because I go to therapy. So like therapy is instantly just gonna like fix all your problems, and I'm like, that's just not. It's not what happens. Like, it's like a constant thing. It's not just gonna happen after one session.
No one really knows how you feel.
No, until
even yourself. Like, I thought, oh, this is perfect. This will really
fix it
cure
straight
me.
away.
And then no one knows it's gonna happen inside your head.
I think as well, different things work for different people. Again, like I know obviously I keep saying stuff like that, but even with medication, like for me that's been the best thing that's helped me, like going on to medication and like after being diagnosed and stuff. And then for people in my family, I know CBT has worked wonders for them, and it literally did nothing for me. Like I found it didn't really work.
That's the same as me.
That's so interesting.
I've had family members who have like counselling and stuff and prefer it to like, they've been put on medication as well and been like, I hated that, it was horrible. And like I'm the opposite. It's just everyone's different, and I feel like you have to work it out for yourself. You can't be told,
which is kind of frustrating when you're like in a really low place and like you feel like there's nothing to help you. It is a struggle, but
that's sort of why people give up. I feel like, some people just like, oh, I tried this and it didn't work and I'm just going to give up. It's like, no, you need to try so many different things.
I feel like waiting lists can be a massive setback as well when you're struggling so much and then you're being told you have to wait like 12 weeks until you can see someone. It just feels like the longest time in the world. When you feel lonely and stuff and feel like no one understands.
Mental health treatment, I don't know what to call it, is so underfunded.
Massively.
I think part of it comes from like people still not believing it exists as well. There are quite a lot of people that if they've not gone through it, it doesn't exist. It's quite
toughen up.
She'll be fine. You'll be fine. It is what
I can't
it
think
is.
of the word for it, but like just sort of oblivious that it's an actual
if you're so lucky that like if you're not struggling mentally, I feel like it's so rare. I feel like everyone at some point in their life will struggle with mental health problems. It is a massive thing.
So next question is, has any of you ever suffered with social anxiety or have any tips with coping?
I don't know if any of you get this, but I get really bad anxiety coming into uni.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
same.
Like, especially now I live at home, I feel like when I come in, everyone's like, oh my god, like, why is she here? Like, everyone's looking at me, and then it's like, if literally I didn't have Lizzie, I'd be sat by myself all day, and that's such a horrible thing to think.
Yeah.
I definitely got it as well, like going out at night. I couldn't do it in like the first couple of years, and I've only just sort of like gotten over it, but that just made me so, and you can't even pinpoint it, like I wouldn't even be able to describe to you guys like why it made me so anxious, but it just did.
And it's that is the frustrating part, I think, like not knowing why you're feeling like it, but also and not knowing what to do or like how to explain it to someone, because people are like, well, like if you can explain it to me, then maybe we can sort it out, and I'm like, I literally physically can't explain it
when you don't know what's going on.
Even like
yourself.
sleepovers at school, like I just couldn't go to them, and people would be like, oh, why like, do you know what I mean? Because, you know, don't get, and even I didn't get it. I was just like, I just really don't want to go, and I'd be like, oh, sorry guys, I've got a headache, I'm not coming, just stuff like that, and you could tell they'd be like, what the hell's wrong with her? Do you know what I mean? Like, why isn't she just coming? And it's just,
I had it really bad in second year, like this time last year, going into uni, like but it was more like I physically couldn't get out the house, and like I was scared to leave the house because I thought someone was gonna kill me or like get me, like it was like really irrational, like crazy thoughts, like I just couldn't leave the house, and I just couldn't explain it, like I actually wanted to go to uni, like, which is not the case now. I actually wanted to go into uni and like actually go to my lectures and see people, but I couldn't leave the house. And that was really strange to like try and explain to someone, like, because I remember my parents asking me like, why do you feel like that? I'm like, I really don't know.
It's that feeling of dread, isn't it? It's like I just don't want to leave the house today, I just don't want to, like, I just don't know what it is. I feel like I don't know if I've got any tips, I'm still trying to work it out myself, but I just didn't like, so in first and second year when I was just tell people like, oh, I don't know if I feel like going out, especially my mum, she'd be like, oh, just go, once you're there you'll have a good time, which it might be the case, but I feel like not forcing myself to do stuff made me feel better, because it's sort of like then I was in control, like I don't have to go out if I don't want to, and like one day I literally was like, oh yeah, I'm up for that, I'll come. That's what made me feel better, like just don't, well, I'm not saying don't force yourself, because some people enjoy that, but I know that's a lot of people told me, like in my family, like just do it and then you'll feel better, and it wasn't the case for me.
Yeah, I get that.
In terms of tips, I don't really know what to suggest. I feel like
maybe this is hard, because I'd say get yourself a good group of friends that you know will look after you, but then I know a lot of people aren't in that situation. I'd
maybe write down your thoughts, because then try and write down what you're feeling, and maybe try and rationalise, like, I don't know, just like read it and be like, right, this is like not a rational thought, if you know what I mean. I don't know.
But then also, like Hattie said, don't force yourself. If you really don't want to go out, don't go out. Like, if it's going to make you feel better to stay in, stay in. Enjoy your night, enjoy your day.
I used to feel so guilty about that. I'd be like, why can't I just go out and enjoy it? But you just have to accept it yourself as well. Be like, it's fine, the things I'm feeling are fine. Like,
it's normal.
It's normal. So normal. And like, and I don't really get it anymore, so you will get past it. You just have to do what's ever good for you and not feel guilty about taking that time.
Putting yourself first. Don't think, oh, they really want me to go out, so I have to go out, because like it's literally you are the priority. Like if something's going to make you feel worse, why would you do that to yourself? Like it's you.
I feel like telling people as well that you are struggling to, or like feel like you can't go out. If you've got people, then open up, because they might be able to.
Because I used to make like excuses, and then there's like school and stuff, and then once you start being like, oh, I don't really like doing stuff like that, it makes you feel better, because you're like, oh yeah, like just being open and
Right. So, what have you guys said to the doctor? If any of you have been to the doctors, have you said anything to get help with anxiety? I need some advice. I know this is obviously a bit deeper, isn't it? Because you're obviously going to the doctors about it. But I think you have to just keep pushing, and that's the worst part about it with the doctors, because they sort of tell you lots of different things, like go to bed on time and like eat 3 meals a day, and it's like stuff that you're already doing, and it sort of makes it like it makes your feelings a bit more like inferior, if that makes sense. Like it makes you feel a bit like, oh, maybe like I feel like I'm doing all this, maybe it's just me then. But if you just keep pushing with it, then I think you might get the support you need. It's just annoying, because you need that strength to push and keep going.
And you sort of have to try all the things they're saying, just to say like, yeah, I've done that. So like I went to the doctors the first time about it, and that was when I was at school, and they were still like, try all these, like, have you been to Boots and got this medicine and stuff? And I sort of, that was the end of that, and then I didn't go again until like the end of first year, I think. And that's when I said, I've been before, I've done all of that you recommended, I need some help. And you sort of just have to be like, I've done that, and you have to actually try it just to say you've done it.
I feel like it's hard as well when you are being kind of like just told to go to bed on time. It's hard to feel like you're being kind of like dismissed, and like your feelings
makes you feel horrible.
Feelings aren't actually
Like valid.
I can remember, I think it was earlier this year, I was at home and I went to the doctors because I wasn't sleeping well because I was anxious, and I went to the doctors about it with my mum, and they told me to drink like herbal teas before bed. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's not going to stop my anxiety, drinking a fucking herbal tea. Like, what a joke. I remember I saw a tweet about that the other day, about how the stupid stuff doctors have told you to do regarding your mental health.
Yeah.
And it's, again, because there's not enough
support
knowledge and research into it, that like doctors don't,
and they can't just prescribe everyone stuff because they don't have the money for it and that, and they just have to make up all I bet even they're thinking like, oh, herbal tea, that's bullshit. Like, they just like, I've just got to say something to make her feel better. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just, it is a joke.
Yeah.
And I remember because I was with my mum, she was like, that'll be a good idea. And
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
No, you don't understand.
You
Maybe
buying
it'll
me
calm
some
me down.
herbal teas isn't fixing anything.
Maybe it'll calm me down for 5 minutes. It's not gonna
Yeah.
cure my
Not
anxiety. Like,
even.
what do you mean?
Like, yeah.
It's hard,
crazy.
yeah, and it does make you feel so defeated.
Yeah, it does.
It's horrible.
So this one is quite a good one. It says, at what point would you realise that your mental health should be a priority over uni? It's really easy to ignore your mental well-being when you're focused on work and like doing everything. I think it was when it got to the lowest point for me, then I realised like everything was getting on top of me, and then I just became like the worst version of myself.
I think I have different days. Like, some days I'll be like, oh, I really should go into uni, that's so bad. And other days, like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm more important. Like, it's still a struggle.
And again, it depends on, like, that's quite like a difficult question because it depends on you. Like,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
find that if I am feeling like a little bit anxious, like I'm not really sure what, like, or a bit stressed or whatever,
It's a bit weird.
I find that going out maybe to the library or going out to a coffee shop and doing a bit of work makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So like I come back and I'm like, obviously if I'm super, like, it depends on the level.
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
I'm just feeling a little bit anxious, going out and doing that often makes me feel better. But if I'm feeling a bit anxious and I just stayed at home and was just thinking about the anxiety, it would make it worse. So that's me. Like, it really depends on, what was the question again?
At what,
It depends
at what point do you
Put
feel
yourself over uni.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I guess
You like going out and going to your lectures, getting it all done. Like, it makes you feel good. Like,
that's
you can
good
do
for
that.
my mental health.
Yeah, and we always talk about it because I'm the opposite. So like, you'll go to the library for stress, and I'll actually prefer staying at home and whatever. And it is just like,
It really just, you
everyone's
just have to figure out
different.
when
Yeah.
what point. It's really subjective, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, it's hard to tell. We can't really tell someone when.
It's
I
just
think
you
it's
know.
just a personal
You
thing,
know
but for
it is.
me, mine was like when it got to really bad. But I feel like it's because I didn't realise what I was feeling was
yeah.
not normal. Like, in terms of, obviously it's like normal because I was validated in my feelings, but it wasn't normal that I was feeling that low.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise that until it was like to the point where I needed like help instantly, really. But yeah, that's just me. But I
feel
think
like
that
we
was
can
just
give you
because of
loads of tips, but
yeah.
it doesn't mean they're definitely going to work.
Work
Like, you
for
really
you.
have to.
You need to know in yourself.
Yeah, and that is hard. But yeah, everyone is different.
And I think you do just kind of know when
Yeah.
you need to just give yourself a break.
Yeah.
And you need to just be okay. Learn to be okay with giving yourself a break.
Yeah.
We're just looking for another question.
Yeah, sorry, we're just trying to find a good question.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Sorry,
That's
there
alright.
some of them are overlapping.
Yeah, we just.
That's alright.
I don't know if that's.
I've dropped my hand cream lid on the floor.
Aw.
Should we try and look for it? Oh, where is it? Found it. Panic over.
Oh, this might be a good
Yeah,
one.
okay.
How to manage a job with bad mental health.
Tell work how you're feeling, maybe.
Yeah,
I've
maybe.
gone
Easier
through
said than
that.
done, but there
Yeah.
might be more understanding. Say if you're just not going into work because you're struggling with your mental health, and they'll be like, well, there's nothing wrong with you, like, why? But if you tell your manager or whatever, like,
Even a little email or
Yeah.
something if you don't feel comfortable talking about
just
it.
like, hi, my mental health is not the best at the minute. You don't have to say explicitly, like, what's going
Yeah,
on.
I've
Just say
done
you're not
that
feeling
before.
great.
In the summer I got the medication I was on, when I first started, you get like all these side effects, and I just didn't feel well, and I thought, oh, it's fine. And one morning I did wake up and I was like really ill, and I was like, oh, I can't like just text now. I meant to leave in 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, oh God, what do I do? Like, what do I say? I can't be like, if I just rang in and said, oh, I feel ill, that's a bit, you know, because I like, oh, come on, what's wrong? And I actually, this is so embarrassing, but at the time it was like what I needed. My mum rang my boss and just described the situation, because like, funny enough, like a coincidence, my boss used to be a psychiatric nurse and dealt with all mental health issues. So I was like, I know she'll understand, but I physically, at this moment, I can't tell her. Like, I just can't, it won't come out my mouth. And Mum actually had this like long phone call with her, and like they become really good friends at the end of it. And then obviously she was like, oh, that's fine, we understand. I mean, I never took any more time off because of it, but it was just like one morning I was like, I can't phone in sick now, because they'll be like, what the hell, like we're so short staffed, whatever.
I feel like that is such a thing as well. Like, people get so nervous to phone in sick for work.
It's
like,
so weird.
I don't think I've ever had a sick day so far off work, because I've not been ill. But I remember at my previous job, when I was ill, I would get so nervous to ring up, even if I was ill, right? And I literally couldn't make it into work. That's an anxious thing in itself. So like, if you've got a good relationship with somebody at your job, even if it's not your boss, somebody that you, like a co-worker, just tell them how you're feeling. Maybe they can say something to your boss if you don't feel comfortable. I don't know, it's hard.
It's hard. I think tell someone, I think, is the key point.
Even like if like a proper job when we're older, like, do you know what I mean? Not like
my little
working at the kennels.
The tea rooms.
There's like, I mean, I don't really know, but I think there's like HR and stuff who you can actually go to with these issues, and they can sort something out with you. Like, I'm not really sure, but there are people you should talk to about it if there's like an ongoing issue. I'm pretty sure.
And I think companies are becoming more aware.
Understanding.
They're doing more things to try and improve mental health.
And I think because everyone has this like perception that you have to be like throwing up to like ring in sick, like that's what stems the anxiety and the nerves about ringing up.
Definitely.
To say you're
Like,
sick.
if you don't sound ill on the phone, you're not ill.
Yeah, literally. Like I know people who would like pretend that they're physically ill, like I'm ill, like you know, to get the day off because they're not feeling great mentally. Like it's crazy.
And my sister, she's like 24. She's got in like an office job, and I remember her telling me she rang up ill. Just, I think she had like a migraine or something, and she was like, oh, I didn't want to ring up as soon as I woke up because it's my sleepy voice will make it sound like I'm putting it on. And I was like, you've really overthought that. Like, that's so bad how much we're overthinking just ringing up to say I'm not feeling good. Like, it's, I saw a tweet about that, about how like how bad it is that we feel guilty having a day off work.
It's crazy. I was also going to say, I remember my dad like teaching me this when I was like first started having like, there was definitely symptoms that I was like really super anxious or like stuff through school, and he would always say, I've seen it on like Twitter and stuff since, but like about the whole, if you broke your leg, like that whole scenario, like if you, it's like the same thing in your mind, like your like brain's a bit broken, obviously not in a bad way, but like your brain's a bit broken, so you need to let it rest. Like same with a broken leg, like you're not going to just be like, oh okay, let's just carry on.
I always think sometimes, like, even at our uni, if we want to get like an authorised attendance thing, we have to fill out a form, and you can't just put feeling anxious, that won't get authorised.
I just
put illness, and you have to
put
migraine, because otherwise you won't get it off. Or you just
mine and Lizzie's forte.
authorised
in absence.
Literally though.
But like, obviously sometimes you might not be ill and it's fine, but like when you actually like are feeling anxious, you're like, well, what do I do? That's not like accepted, if that makes sense. Which is just weird. I feel like it's something companies are working on though.
Yeah. And do you know what's weird? Like, unis and schools of all people should understand that anxiety, and
that's what kind of frustrates me, because a lot of the uni does acts like they do a lot of stuff for mental health awareness and stuff, but I'm like, what are you actually doing? Because I still feel like I couldn't say I'm having a day off because I feel anxious.
Definitely,
So I've got another question. Well, it's like a scenario thing that someone sent in. It says, due to a super shit experience in uni this time last year, I now associate uni with negativity, and it's led to a very recent diagnosis of anxiety, very specific to being in uni and social situations. I was super outgoing and chill before this. Any tips on how to break the link between uni negativity and anxiety would be amazing to try and break through the anxiety. I hope this makes sense.
I think anxiety can be stemmed from uni. Like she said, it's clearly like she's only got anxiety because she's come to uni. Like before she was saying she was so chilled, which is obviously unfortunate, but like I think it's so normal to feel like that when you're at uni because you have suddenly pushed into this whole new lifestyle, and it is just a mad
away
thing.
from home as well.
That's a hard one. I think maybe
try and have more positive experiences in
like
uni.
find out what it is that's making it negative. Like, is it the stress? Is it going into lectures or something?
Yeah,
and
is
like
it
then
workload
try and work out
how to manage it.
solve that. So like, say just an example, but like when I didn't like the big exam hall, I worked out that there's other ways around it, sort of thing. And maybe just figure out what actually it is that's making you feel like that. And
I'd say try and do like more positive things in uni. So like going out for like lunch with your friends or whatever in between, like going for coffee between lectures. Just try and break the day up and not think of it as I'm going into uni to sit in a lecture hall for like an hour. Like try and make it like do other things with the day.
Yeah, or if it's something like she said that something at uni happened, like for example if you didn't get on with your flatmates or something, there are ways around that as well. You can go contact like accommodation services, get it changed. Like I know so many people have done that, like changed accommodation because they don't get on well with their flatmates. Like we don't know the scenario that made it shit for her, but there are ways around everything. So if you just maybe write down the big problems that you're finding affecting your uni life, then maybe you can turn them into positives in different ways, like one thing at a time.
And it's not easy, it's something you have to work at, but once you do it,
so worth it.
It is worth it.
Because I think I would associate like the past 2 years of uni like quite negatively, but I feel like this year, like I know third year shit, but doing this has made it quite a positive thing. Like meeting you guys has been a positive thing. Like I don't know if you're the same.
It's difficult because obviously not everyone's going to be like, let's make a podcast.
Yeah,
but,
no, I'm not saying that.
It's just, if you can make new friends, make new friends. There's nothing wrong with getting out there. And
It's never too late, clearly.
Exactly.
Just message someone on Instagram.
Just message someone on Instagram saying, hi, can I interview you for your magazine? And then it all falls into place.
Watch your beautiful friendships.
And just like
Start up a magazine.
try and have stuff that's away from uni.
Yeah.
So that your life's not just uni and anxiety and then maybe being at home. Like try
And I've never been in a society myself, but maybe try a society because they're still uni based, but obviously it's a good way to make friends and do stuff.
If you've got a hobby, especially like
find a
sports
hobby.
or
There's a society for literally everything.
Yeah, and if not, you can create your own society. That's a little project you could go.
Oh, that's a good
Get on
idea.
board, yeah.
My
If you
brother
can get
did
like 10
that.
people, if you can get like 10 people involved or something, you can start
Start a
one.
society.
Yeah. Right, so this is a bit of a different one, not uni related. It says how to deal with family on a Christmas holiday and not feel anxious. So I feel like a lot of people could get anxious around like certain family members. Do you know what I mean? Like not just because you're family doesn't mean you get on with everyone.
For me, it's like when you go from not seeing loads of people and then like for example when I go home I've got to go to this massive family Christmas party and it's sort of like it's just a bit much. Everyone else it's more the like, so how's uni going?
Are you enjoying it?
Person.
How's third year?
And
Have you
it's
started
like,
dissertation?
I don't
What do you do when you graduate?
Fuck
off.
And I just want to be like, look, can we just not talk about this for one, like I'm only going to see you this one
like the whole year.
And then I just go, Mum, I'm going home now, like
Yeah. I think what was it? How to
deal with it.
Yeah. Being anxious around like maybe big groups of like family members or just generally.
I'm not sure.
I think I don't know if I suppose a lot of families don't live near each other. You might only see this certain family at Christmas or whatever. But if you live close enough to some of your family, go and see your grandma the week before when she's just on her own. Meet up with your cousin, and then when they're all in the same place, you won't feel as weird because you've already spoke to them more recently. I don't know if that's a stupid thing to say,
No, I think that is.
but I think if you kind of make the effort to see people separately before you see them all together, you might feel a little bit less like
Less pressured to
that's a good
speak to
idea.
everybody there. Like
because I don't necessarily feel anxious, it's more annoyance, like a big group of family, like but
I get anxious. This is so deep and everyone's probably gonna be like, what the fuck?
No.
But
go for it.
I don't know if any of you have like lost family members, but I think Christmas is such a hard time of year for losing family members, and this year especially because my mum's like now moved on,
Yeah.
I'm literally like, I'm dreading Christmas. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be so hard. But like, I tell like my boyfriend and like my friends, they all know. They're just like, well, we'll do something. Like, my boyfriend's like, come to mine after you've had your Christmas dinner, and like my friend's like, yeah, we'll go out Christmas Eve, that kind of thing. So try and make it doesn't like, I know Christmas is meant to be for family, but like, if your family make you feel anxious, like try and do other things. Like, keep yourself busy with like your friends. And whatever.
There's so much pressure to make Christmas the best day.
Oh my
of the
god,
year.
it's
It's actually
so
ridiculous. And
It never is.
I
It
really
never-
don't like this year. I haven't been feeling it because, like, I've just not been
Stress.
like, I don't know. Like, I'm just not feeling it, and it's. I think it's. I don't like how it starts as soon as Halloween finishes. It's Christmas
Yeah.
all over the TV, all over all the music in the shops.
all the
All the
lights are
decorations
out.
go up, and you're suddenly like, shit. Now I need to
like,
start
just
thinking
give
about
me a
Christmas
minute.
already.
Yeah.
And then because of that, you're getting anxious
Because you're not
because
feeling
you're
it.
Yeah.
you're
Realise that you can't enjoy
Yeah.
Christmas anymore because you're an adult.
yeah, but like you're
Realisation
anticipating
as
it. That's what it is. Like
Yeah.
from the beginning of November, you're anticipating Christmas, and if
It's
Christmas
supposed to be
isn't the best
happy.
time of year for you, you're thinking
not.
like fucking hell. Like
Christmas is like the shittest time of year for so many people. Has
Yeah.
anyone heard
Yeah.
that song by Mabel? And it's like the loneliest time of the year. And I'm like,
No.
what? Have you not heard it?
No.
She's got this new song out, and it's literally called the loneliest time of the year. And it's about how like she feels lonely on Christmas, and it's like, how
Yeah.
she's supposed to be happy when she's
Yeah.
lonely, that kind of thing.
and like all like the adverts, like just these perfect little families and
Yeah, all around
everyone's
the Christmas
so
tree.
happy and
Yes,
like
yes.
there's like glitter everywhere. Like Jesus.
No offense, I love Christmas, but like,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we all love Christmas in its own way, but I feel like there is so much pressure to be happy.
and there's so many.
The thing I hate is like, especially now when you're at uni and like, you have got work to do over Christmas, it's people saying like, oh, have a day off, it's Christmas, or like, oh, we've got so many plans that we're going to this person's house this time, Aunt Linda's house that day, like, and it's just like, I can't, I'm so busy.
Yeah, I
like,
have
just because
work
it's
to
Christmas
do.
doesn't mean I have to keep going out and enjoying all these things. Like, I
Yeah.
do want a break as well. That's what I'm
think-
dreading.
For that answer to that question, I think would be because I've found like I'm thinking about organising more stuff with my friends,
Me too.
and that's what's making me more excited for Christmas because I'm thinking like, no offense to my family, but I'm thinking like, oh, I'll be able to see this friend I haven't seen in ages, and then we'll do that
And
and
New
this,
Year's.
and like
Yeah.
and, like,
coming
I
up for
love
New
New
Year's.
Year's Eve, and like that's like my favourite night of the year.
Yeah.
So maybe just don't get so hung up on like
Yeah.
you probably will feel anxious that one day you've got to meet all your family and on Christmas Day, but then think about maybe Boxing Day you might be going out for lunch
Yeah.
with your friend or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like don't try and get too hung up on it because
Yeah.
I guarantee you're not the only person.
Yeah, I
that
think
feels like that.
realising that it is okay to like be dreading Christmas
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
totally like normal.
And I don't know if anyone else's families are like this, but like, I'm trying to be quite vague to not offend anyone.
That's
So
okay,
I've
don't
got this
worry.
family party happening soon, and I'm just like, I'm not that fussed about going, and because I've got like, it'll be the day I get back and stuff, and it's just a lot of hassle. And if I said that to my nan, she wouldn't believe it. She'd be like, "Wait, you're not going? Like what? Like I just don't understand." And, like that stresses me out. It's just like, God, I have
People
to
making
like,
you feel bad
Yeah.
about
yeah,
it.
making me feel bad about not enjoying
Yeah.
all these big family parties and doing all this stuff, and it's just like they don't understand. And it's you're like, wait, so you mean you're not
you
going?
don't want
Like
to
it's just like
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah, I was going to touch on when you said about feeling lonely a bit earlier and like missing people. I know at Christmas, like I usually do have a nice day with my family. Like we have little traditions and stuff, you know, like everyone does. But I always find like since like I've had someone pass away in my family, like there's always a little cry on
Oh, yeah,
Christmas, and
definitely.
you know,
Yeah.
like I feel like it's fine for Christmas not to be smiley all day. Like I always
No.
feel like the last few like 4 or 5 Christmases, like everyone's shed a tear or
Yeah.
whatever, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's totally okay.
Even like with our family, we've actually found that we've enjoyed it more since. So now I've got like a little cousin who's 3 years old, and
Yeah,
Didn't know what.
I thought you were going to say I've enjoyed it more since someone's passed away. Oh my god.
no, it's because
like, oh my
God. It's a new life is involved.
No offense, but
Love you,
it's
but
better now.
Yeah, we enjoy it. Spit with it. No, but it's definitely more of like a little kid's, like seeing him open
Yeah.
presents,
That's-
and it's so much more fun. Like I'm
Yeah.
excited. Like I spent my money on him just because I'm like he's gonna appreciate it more. Like the 3-year-old's gonna be like buzzing on Christmas
Yeah.
opening all
Yeah,
these
that's
presents.
like all my. I spend Christmas Day at my mum's and Boxing Day at my dad's. So we've always done that, and like there's no kids at all. Like it's
Yeah.
all like we're all
Yeah.
adults, and it's all everything's a bit.
When
like,
everyone gets older, it's a bit like,
not as
oh,
special,
Merry
is it?
Christmas.
Yeah, like
Let's eat some food
Let's
now.
just
And
have
then
some
sleep
food
on
and
the
then
sofa.
just watch telly. And
watch the Queen's speech.
I've done my makeup. I'm looking stunning from my grandma's living room. Like,
That should do me.
Like that. I suppose I was saying
Someone
that
take
make
a
people
pic.
realise that we're not all. Because sometimes on Instagram it's like, oh my god, these people have got this perfect,
Oh my god.
massive long dinner
Yeah.
table with
Yeah.
their family there, and it's all like
And
a nicely
literally-
decorated
Nice.
table, and it's all
Yeah.
perfect.
And obviously that's not the intention. They're just like taking
Yeah.
a nice photo,
But you're
but
also-
sometimes it like gets in your head if you
Yeah.
see like if
Yeah.
you're swiping through Insta stories and everyone's got these like, and everyone's like
Big
laid out there like
happy family.
on the floor.
Yeah, literally, like,
Christmas.
literally they've got like the
I don't
Chanel
normally
bags or whatever.
see my dad
And you're
on
just there,
Christmas
like,
Day
what?
because he's like with his family, which is fine because I see him other times. Do you know what I mean? But then on Christmas Day, like my nan would be like, "Are you not going to see your? Are you not seeing your dad on Christmas Day?" I'm like, "It's fine. Like I'm seeing him.
I
Like
haven't
we
seen my
talk
dad
all
on
the time.
Christmas Day for like
No,
10 years.
Yeah,
It's
like because
just the
he's
way
with
we
his
do
mum, and
things.
it's just." It is just that pressure on like you have to have
Yeah.
the perfect Christmas Day with all your family around the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
Like
And that's not possible because
No.
my dad will not be doing that.
I also feel like when you go on Instagram and you see what people have got for Christmas, like
Oh.
literally people just put. Like I'm not saying don't because like, if I got like a brand new Chanel bag, I would probably put a picture on it. But
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, who the fuck is this? I never wanted this.
yeah, but I feel like people who aren't as fortunate will sit and watch that and be like, well, I've not got that. Like,
Yeah.
in compared to like,
I can't afford to buy my mum this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but she's bought her mum
like,
like,
I bought my mum a holiday to Australia. like,
No.
there's me like, oh, I've got some bullshit.
yeah, here's your
Yeah.
Yankee candle.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you just have to view it as just a nice day out of the year. It's not this massive like.
I feel like we
Even
put a
though
really
it's built
negative
up like
spin
that.
on
Yeah.
Christmas.
We
you
hate
know what?
Christmas.
I love Christmas.
I
And,
love
Christmas.
Oh, I love that.
and if you want to take a pic with your fam,
Yeah,
get it
do
on the
it.
gram. Why not?
Mhm.
But also,
Yeah.
just be mindful.
Be
like
mindful.
everybody, of course, is going to be having a different day to what you are. So
Yeah, that's very true.
just
Yeah.
be mindful of
Just
people.
don't put too
and-
much pressure on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah.
It's
It
totally
is
normal.
just. I mean,
It's just a.
I'm not
it's-
being funny. Christmas is on a Wednesday this year. And I just
Yeah.
feel.
Ew.
Happy
Wednesday.
Hump Day. Yeah, I'll put a quote on the Instagram. Happy Hump Day.
Bit of a different hump day
Yeah.
today.
So, like-
We hate Christmas apparently.
Happy Wednesday.
You've made it to Wednesday. It's nearly Friday.
Do you know what's funny though? You know, at Christmas, do you even know what day it is? Like, I'm like,
No.
what
That whole
the
week.
hell is going
That-
on?
yeah.
Christmas to New
New
Year's.
Year's.
I'm just
that
like,
whole week
God,
is
what
fucking
is
weird.
that?
man.
What day is it? What time
And
is
no
it?
one's doing anything. And
I'm just
Everyone's
sat
just
at home
hanging
watching.
or-
Like, why is my dad in the living room? Like, he should be at work right now. What's going on?
Literally.
everyone's in limbo.
Like, your dad sat there and you're like, why is my dad in the
I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but I always think if I drive to my grandma's or something on Christmas Day, I'm like, oh my god, like there's no one on the road.
I'm
weird.
driving on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I did that last year. I was like, I'm driving my family to my nan's on Christmas Day.
Or I went to pick up my.
On Christmas Day 2019.
I am driving in the car. What a weird thing.
It is the
Yeah.
pressure. That's why. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh my god, it's Christmas Day and I'm
You're leaving the
driving.
house. You're
I
supposed
should
to
not
leave
be
the house on
driving.
Christmas Day. What the hell?
Or that
Like-
feeling when it's like past 12 o'clock, you're like, oh, now it's Christmas Day. It's officially Christmas Day now.
And
like,
like
if you
laying
take
in
the
your
dog
bed
for a
like
walk.
crying and you're like, oh, it's Christmas, okay, time to be happy.
Yeah, if you take the dog for a walk and like there's someone else walking the dog, you're like, oh my god, it's Christmas. I'm spending
Merry
Christmas Day with them.
Why are we acting like you can't do anything on Christmas?
What are you supposed to do?
I don't know how it's meant to work.
You should just sit in your living room all day with your Christmas
I don't
cracker,
know
like,
how it's meant to
hat on your
I don't
head.
know what you're meant to do.
What's normal to do on Christmas?
Do you
I
know
don't
what? That
know.
is actually fully so weird. Like, Christmas Day is the one day of the year you'll do your makeup, but go and sit like downstairs or at a relative's home.
In
Like,
your
you've-
best dress.
In your best dress, like you've put on your brand new makeup palette, and then you just go and eat a load of food, and you sat with a paper crown on your head all day. Like, what?
It is a weird concept.
Who?
Oh my god, the Gavin and Stacey episode.
Oh my god. If we don't find out
so
what happened on that
excited.
fishing trip, I'm
Oh.
going to be
Every time I get
fuming.
like a bit down about Christmas, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. Stacey.
Also, Moana's playing on Christmas Day, which I'm excited
Beautiful.
about.
Yeah.
Because I love that. That Christmas TV, that is a good.
Yeah, that
is
that
a
is
good
good.
But does anyone else think that literally the lack of Christmas movies on Netflix is literally the saddest thing ever?
They've taken Love Actually off Netflix, and
And
I
they-
went to go and watch it the other day, and it wasn't on.
They've taken the Grinch off as well. They took the Grinch off on the
The
1st of
Grinch was on TV
December.
last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the new one though, wasn't it? Was it
Wait,
the-
what?
No, it's the old one.
No, it's a
the original.
classic.
Oh fuck! I
We
thought it was
watched
the new
it.
one. That's why I didn't watch.
I last night, this isn't a Christmas film, but I really,
Okay, Meg, what's going on? What's she gonna say?
I really wanted to watch Ratatouille last night.
I love
I feel
Ratatouille.
like I had a magic Mike moment.
And then I remembered that Netflix don't have any Disney films, do
Oh,
they? So I was
yeah.
just got really sad.
Oh, so you didn't watch it then?
No.
Oh, that's the
Where
saddest thing I've
do I
ever
find
heard.
Ratatouille?
123movies.com.
Yeah, get it on.
You might get a virus.
£3 on
It's worth it.
Amazon.
I'm not paying for it.
I watched Nativity yesterday.
I love
Absolutely.
that
Love
film.
Nativity.
I need to watch
I
that.
want to start singing it,
Things
but
are
really cool in Nazareth. If you don't feel festive after that, then don't know what will make you.
Set
Wait,
that as your
guys.
ringtone.
We need to save this for the Christmas episode.
Yeah. Have we got any
Getting
more
too far.
questions we need to answer? We've just completely gone on.
I know, yeah.
We have. Oh, this is like not. It's more like self-esteem
Okay.
related.
This is a sad.
This is quite sad. How to start. Oh God.
Just give me a
Again,
second. Give
get
me
a
a
little
sec.
laugh out.
Yeah, we need to get back in the.
We need to get back in the zone. We just
Yeah.
got all
Let's get on
Christmassy.
myself. Okay.
Yeah.
How to start loving yourself again after being ghosted from a 2-year relationship.
Oh, Jesus
So
does that mean
you
that-
showed me this one? I was like, does that mean they were in
In
a
a
relationship
2-year
for 2
I
years
think
and
so.
then
And
And
then
then did
he's
he
just
just
like that.
ghosted?
She's nothing.
Oh my god.
Thank you. Next.
He's worthless.
Yeah.
Or she.
Oh yeah.
I
Trash.
won't judge. Oh my god, I feel so bad.
I
feel
do.
so bad.
I don't know. How to
But just know that it's not like it. What if somebody has actually got the bollocks to get up and do that? Like they're not worth any. Oh, I hate
Yeah.
saying that, but
Yeah.
It's hard because imagine like that happened to you and someone just said, "Oh, they're not worth it." Like,
they.
You can't
you-
put your self-worth on other people as well. It's to do with you.
Yeah.
I feel like- yeah. But it's hard though when you. I presume they spent a lot of time together
Yeah.
and made a lot of memories in
Yeah.
2 years, and then
And then it feels like you wasted your time.
I guess you're
Like, I
wondering,
feel like
like-
that's what I would be feeling, and that's probably what she's feeling. Like she's wasted these 2 years, and now she's nothing to this person.
Yeah,
Thing is, it's not a waste. Like think of all the think of probably how you've grown as a person in those 2 years. You're not going to be the same person, so you kind of got to be thankful for the experience. But as for the person, just
fuck 'em.
Just
block them on Instagram,
block 'em.
Facebook.
remove them out of your life because clearly you don't need them anyway.
And like the way they've treated you isn't a reflection of what you're worth.
No.
Very true.
Like absolutely
reflection on
not.
them.
Like I'm sure you've got friends that love you, your family love you. Like that's what matters.
It's hard to get over.
It is, yeah, it is a shit time, I feel, but it like honestly gets better. Like I know that's the worst thing to hear,
Yeah.
but it literally just takes
Time.
time, and I'm like the most impatient person. So when anyone says that to me,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Time is actually the only thing.
Yeah.
Literally, if you want to sit in your bed and cry, listen to sad songs, like do
we'd all
it. If that will make you
Yeah.
like, probably having a cry will make you feel
Go
better.
out, get
You
your
just need to
nails
learn to
done.
love
Yeah, she said how to
yourself.
start loving yourself again.
Yeah.
So what would you do if this happened to you?
I would
I-
do.
I'd just
I would
probably
like
go-
cry for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'd start to like just do little things like me personally, I'd go to the gym or maybe I'd do things to make me feel good
Nails done.
nails,
Get my nails
eyelashes,
done, eyelashes,
brows.
yeah. and then
Change your hairstyle.
post
Yeah,
like a pen pic on Instagram.
Yeah, like,
I'm not even
waiting for them to like
You might not even want to think about this, but like get on Tinder or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you
Do
want,
some
if you're missing like the
swiping.
attention, get on Tinder, put a
Yeah.
banging pic on, and then watch
Yeah.
all the lads like. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Even if you're not going to use it for anything, just
Yeah.
even just a chat
it's
to
a
someone.
bit of a self-esteem boost when you
It
know
is,
someone thinks
honestly,
you're
yeah.
gorge.
Get dressed up,
And then-
go out, and you'll see how many
Yeah.
guys
I was
Go on a
like,
girls'
no,
night.
Yeah, go out with your girlfriends and just
Girlfriend.
get really fucking drunk and kiss some random guy.
Yeah,
I would do.
that'll make me feel
just
better.
wallow for a little bit and then just get panged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just listen
Yeah.
to listen to
Yeah.
Thank You Next on repeat for like
Yes.
10
The
days,
whole
and then
album.
you will be
Yeah.
fine.
And just think you're not alone. Like so many people go through.
Oh my god,
It's
it's
And you're
horrible.
gonna find
though.
the perfect
And then-
person that's gonna suit you way better
Yeah.
than that person
And
who
it'll
treats
make you
people like trash.
realise the way that the things wrong with the person you were with
Yeah.
previously, because you'll be like, well,
It's a
shit.
learning curve.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what?
surround
But-
yourself with people that love you.
Yeah.
And that you have a good time with. Like, don't
Yeah.
waste your time with someone you feel like crap every time you're with them.
But I feel like we need to address what if in say like 2 weeks or whatever he decides that he wants to slide back in.
No, no, no,
Ew,
no,
ew,
no.
ew, ew, ew,
No.
don't do
Hard, but just block them. Don't
Don't you do
interact
it.
because you'll fall back in.
However tempted you are, just no, because that's not self-love if you're doing that
No,
to
it's not.
yourself.
It's not. Think about your worth. I
it.
guess.
And they
Yeah.
probably will do that. Like if you're gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
When he sees the banging pics on
Yeah.
Insta,
Yeah.
If you
yeah.
start
like-
slaying and like being a boss, then he's gonna be like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I've missed out here. What have I done?
Yeah, what have I done?
And then when he realizes this new, like if he's seen someone new or whatever he's decided to do, he'll be like, oh shit, I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
And then he'll come back and then you'll be like, fuck you.
Yeah, and that'll make you feel good.
Yeah, being like, well, I'm better than you. I'm on Tinder. Got like 1,000 lads in my DMs.
I'm on Tinder. So if
And
you
you're
need any
not.
help writing a bio, let us know. I think we'd be really good
I
at that.
think we
God.
would be really
That
good
would be
at
so
that.
fun.
Yeah, I need help with that. Can you guys help me with that?
Oh my God, yes.
We've done a video where Megan and Hattie made me a
that was
Tinder,
so
and
funny.
like they messaged loads of people like, "Oh my God, have you seen my YouTube channel?"
Oh my God.
And
so
it was like,
bad.
favourite song? This Is Me. Like, the Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman. Oh God, Spotify
I
rap.
would never swipe right on someone that has got their favourite song.
No.
Oh my God,
Through
no.
Spotify, like, even if
Brilliant.
it's a song that I also like, I just feel like, ew, man. Like, that's so
And it's like Skepta, that's not me.
yeah,
Can we talk about Spotify rap?
Oh
I
my
think
God,
we should.
I need to get
Because last 10 minutes, I think we should.
just chat shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we should also do an episode. I just thought about like,
Yeah.
just about like dating and Tinder and stuff.
I think so. I think we've got dating culture as like a whole topic.
I've
so
got
maybe
so
that
many
should
things that it's just if someone does that one thing, I can't.
Be... yeah.
would
And
just
you're
be
like
funny
a
to
really
talk about.
extensive list on things that you need in a boy. E.g. construction
I really
worker,
fancy men in high
Irish.
What?
She's got weird things. What else is there? He has a shit Instagram.
Yeah, I don't want a boy that's got a good Instagram.
Oh my God.
Confused.
Sorry,
What
but
qualifies
if your
as a shit
boyfriend's taking
Instagram?
selfies, like
Yeah, true. With the boys.
exactly, you see what I mean? That's disgusting.
yeah.
Boys Night Out.
Literally, I could never.
You post like one
could
group
never.
pic every 6 months.
And you don't know which one he is in the picture.
Yeah, you're like, your friends, like, you show your friends and they're like, which one is he? And you're like, oh, it's this one.
The bangers one. He's actually not.
Sorry, change the subject. We are not going to that lecture.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
pretty
really.
sure. Okay, right. My
Somebody's just gone in the door and gone.
Okay.
I was going to upload our photos.
sorry.
Talking about Tinder.
Yeah, sorry. Talking about Tinder and what Megan likes in a boy.
Right, anyway.
My top artist of the year was Ariana Grande.
Same.
Oh God.
Not a shock.
That's just annoying because I feel like
Wait, where is?
I don't know.
Find
I
this
just
out?
screenshotted it.
Yeah, I just put it on the
Oh, it wasn't on
background.
there.
I think it was just.
And Lewis Capaldi was number 4, but I'm not
Oh.
depressed or anything. So.
My top artist is Bradley Cooper.
I die at that every time. He's not even a singer.
It's because I had Shallow on repeat in the shower
Yeah.
all year,
Yeah.
and I would just be like, in the shower.
I hate that.
My second and third, I just remember this, but my second is Billie Eilish and my third is Mamma Mia soundtrack.
Looking like a
Which
bit
is
of
the weirdest-
variation.
Yeah,
That's
it just
on.
goes from that real
Mine's
quick.
a little bit. I'm not going to call myself chavvy, but I'll call myself chavvy because that's just me. Like,
Go for it. I like
my top artist is Post Malone, but that's quite normal because
Yeah.
everyone
Posty.
who doesn't
Posty.
listen to Post Malone. But then also it's AJ Tracy,
Live and direct.
Live and direct.
Young T and Bugsy,
Strike me a
Gigs
pose.
and Hex. If anyone knows.
Mine's just a
Um,
random
really
list.
basic.
Mine's Ariana Grande, Drake, Khalid, Lewis Capaldi, and Rihanna.
Oh, I love
Mine's so
That's
basic.
I know.
white
I like
girl.
that. I like that. There was a good.
Yours
choice.
is absolutely hilarious.
Mine's Bradley Cooper, followed by Lady Gaga. Then we've got H, Miley Cyrus, and Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
God.
I had
Fuck's sake.
Ariana Grande, the 1975, Rihanna, H, and Beyonce. That's
I feel like that's quite sad.
Yours is a good one. I
Yeah.
love yours.
Solid.
I
Mm.
really overplayed Shallow.
How much did you literally overplay to be your number 1?
Yeah.
just one
You must have
song.
listened to nothing else.
And
Oh,
this is top artists as well.
Yeah, but like
He's my
what-
top artist.
from one song.
Yeah.
That's what I
No,
mean.
to be fair, like I played the soundtrack. It was
Oh, I
better
played the
than
whole soundtrack once.
that. Oh, really?
Mamma Mia was my summer soundtrack
Oh,
as well,
of
so
course
that's
it
why it's
was.
up
I love
there.
Mamma Mia.
And Billie Eilish was my winter, more depressed one.
Love that.
I love Billie Eilish though.
God.
What's
What
my
else we
top
got?
song?
My top.
I don't know how to find
My top
that.
song's
I-
Taste.
Oh God.
Oh, mine was Ghostin'. You know the Ariana Grande one about Mac Miller.
Oh yeah.
My top song was
Because I was really
I
sad about that.
Caramba, Body Good Body Proper.
I don't know how to find it because I didn't screenshot it.
I didn't screenshot it. I only screenshot.
If you go on your
Oh no,
Spotify,
no, I've got that wrong. My top song's Keisha.
Keisha.
But my
Very
top artist is
sexy.
Bradley Cooper.
My
That's
top
so
song
varied.
is Seven Rings, which is just,
Yeah.
classic, a classic.
and then
Classic
it's
one.
Lovely, Billie Eilish.
My top artist of the decade was Drake, and then literally all my songs, 17's on there first year, and then the last 3 are blooming Drake song.
How many minutes did everyone listen to?
I don't know. How do you
How
know?
do you find it?
It's on
I
this
didn't
bit.
Mine wasn't that
I
many.
don't- I haven't
Mine's
got
not that
nine.
many.
How do you
Mine's
find it?
1,326.
How do you find
I feel
it?
like that's
How
not
do
that
you
many.
find it?
Oh, mine's 13,290.
Mine's 9,000, almost 10,000.
How do you? I just have
1,000.
no
It's
idea.
the
Yeah,
BLE
we haven't-
thing.
Yeah, but I haven't even
Yeah,
got
but
the
it's
thing.
gone now. That whole that wrap
Ah,
up
you
thing's
should have
gone.
screenshotted it.
Yeah, I just didn't
You
get
got an
that
email
much.
as well.
Oh, it might be on my. I might have recently deleted it, but
To
you
be
know.
fair, I don't listen to music when I'm doing work, like I physically can't.
Oh my God,
whereas it's just in
I
the
I
shower.
do. That's why I've got.
Has anyone
those,
listened to
yeah.
the Revision Ballads playlist on Spotify?
Yes, revision ballads.
Banging.
I have
I
that.
stop saying banging. Why have I said that so many
Um,
times? It's
Banging.
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 There's someone
Banging.
like this.
Do my-
Nice picture of me.
Oh, here you go. Here's your musical wrap.
Damn, I wish.
And my top genre is Hollywood,
Oh my God.
Mine's pop.
Bollywood.
Basic.
Go get copyrighted.
Just
though.
go up.
My top song.
We need to people can't see what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
So my
I know,
top
I'm just
songs go Keisha Becky, Shallow, Taste, Ladbroke Grove, and Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
No way.
Somewhere
No way.
But why?
Maybe after this we should all screenshot it and put it on
Put
our
on the
Instagram
story.
story and people have got to guess whose is whose.
Oh my God, yeah, let's
that
do
girl
that.
that needs to get over that boy.
Yeah.
Listen to songs. Listen
Yeah,
to
like an empowering
one
women's
of my
playlist.
top
Why don't we make
Beyonce.
a playlist, a collaborative one for like
one of my top
Yeah.
songs from the year was "I Wish I Missed My Ex." Like I don't even have an ex, but
keeping it real.
I mean, he's made up.
that's a good song. 'Cause she's like saying, "Oh, I wish I was ex because I fucking don't."
Oh, listen to "Shout Out to My Ex" by Little Mix. That's a classic breakup.
Shout out to
my ex.
Yeah, like put
I
on.
do like that.
There's an
I
independent
that song.
ladies
Oh.
playlist on Spotify. That's good.
Single
Just
ladies or independent.
Independent ladies. Like it's just all like women being like.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That was.
The sound waves are so erratic.
Yeah,
by the
literally
way.
the sound waves are literally like.
So when we started talking about Tinder, everyone got a bit excited.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I wish people could see us, but they actually can because it's being
Oh,
recorded.
yeah.
Ooh, I'm really in it this week.
I can't see.
I look horrendous.
My hair is wet.
My
And
hair
every
is
time I lift my
greasy.
arms up, my bra shows.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, well, let's Spotify wrap this up.
Fuck's sake. It's been a wonderful
Let's
week.
just go.
This has been the most random.
Just go, dude.
Let's just go.
Just walk out, leaving it recording.
Just go.
I'm just gonna wrap this up. Nice pun there by
Follow me on
saying.
TikTok.
Yeah, honestly, follow us all on TikTok. We all made TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok. No.
I'm just gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
Message of the week saying thank you next and know your worth.
Yeah,
Good
100%.
one. Yeah.
I say. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna say Keisha and Becky.
You go, because I need to think.
Bradley Cooper, we love you.
This is the most random thing.
I love how this started off so serious and now we're just
God,
like,
yeah.
sorry, boy.
I know. Any men that work in construction. My
Anyone with a
Instagram is
high
at
vis.
Megan McGill with
Wait.
5 L's.
Before we go, can we think of a name?
Yeah.
What have we-
Bradley Cooper is my
No,
hero.
we'll leave it a surprise for them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, love you.
Bye, love you, thanks
Farewell.
for listening.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Over and out. Peace, bitches.
I can't believe I got told to shut up.